Frisco, Texas teenager stabbed at track meet. Did he get stabbed because of some racial tension that was going on? Or is this just a complete freak incident? Let's talk about it.
This is just an absolutely heartbreaking story. A high school athlete fatally stabbed in the chest at a track meet in Texas. It happened on Wednesday morning after telling a fellow student that he was in the wrong place. 17-year-old Austin Metcalf died in his twin brother's arms. His father, Jeff Metcalf, is speaking out about the tragedy.
I'm wondering, condolences to the family first off. But they said an incident sparked up because he was at the wrong tent. So my thing is, how did he go about telling him he was at the wrong tent?
And Jeff joins us now. First of all, Jeff, let me just start by saying that there aren't words to express how shocked and saddened we are by your loss. And as a parent of a 14-year-old boy and an older man who's now making his own way in the world, I just can't imagine how you're facing the rest of your life without your son. I wanted to ask you this question. I know, 17 years old, amazing. And he was an amazing kid, too. We'll get you to speak about him in just a moment. But I think a lot of people at home are saying, wait a second, how does this happen? He goes to a track meet on Wednesday and is murdered. What happened?
I wish I had all the answers. The answer is my son is gone and he'll never come home again. I want to clarify something right off the start because I've already heard some rumors and some gossip. This was not a race thing. And this is not a political thing. Please do not comment.
I wonder if the area has racial tension or anything of that sort, because that was the first thing that came off the jump. So why is that was so prevalent for him to begin with, you know? That makes me wonder, that makes me question off the bat.
If you do not know what happened, do not turn this into a racial thing. It was not. Do not politicize this. It's not. This is a human being thing. This person made a bad choice and it affected both his family and my family forever. It's a very unfortunate thing, but I know exactly what was happening. His brother was there who tried to save him and he died in his arms. So if you weren't there, please don't spread.
Well, if his brother was the only one who was there, then I'm pretty sure his brother would do anything to protect his legacy as well. So it still, to me, won't necessarily 100% clarify what exactly happened. Just being 100% real with you.
Rumors.
His twin brother Hunter was there, and as we pointed out at the top of this, his twin brother tried to save him, couldn't save him, and Austin died in his arms. He spent the last moments of his life in his brother's arms as he went to meet God. But what did Hunter tell you happened?
Well, the track meet was being delayed. Each individual high schools had like their own little tents to go sit under. And they were sitting under the Memorial High School tent. The individual was saying some words and they turned to him and said, "Who are you?" And he said, "I'm Mello." And he said, and he had a Centennial track sweat on. He said, "Hey man, you're in the wrong spot. You need to go sit with your team." Words were then exchanged. I'm not going to get into the exact details. I know what my son told me, but they asked him to move. And
what were the words exchanged? Again, what were the words exchanged? I think this makes or breaks this case of him stabbing him. Now, was it emotionally charged for him to stab him? Should he have stabbed him? It might have been a little bit over the top. I'm not going to lie to you. It could have been. But what were the words exchanged? Because that could have sparked an emotional stabbing. I could believe that 100%. If he called him some kind of racial slur, anything outside his name, especially if it was raining or delayed or anything of that sort, and he was just chilling under the tent, you know, and then Holmes came over there with some emotional words, some racial words, racial slurs. And there's two of them versus him. Sometimes you got to watch how people paint a picture.
And when Austin grabbed his backpack to take it, he stabbed him in the chest and killed him.
Oh, my gosh. You know, we're seeing a picture of Austin on the screen right beside you.
That's his last high school.
Just an incredibly handsome fellow. We know that he was college bound. He had a 4.0 grade point average, MVP of his football team. What else do you want the nation to know about him?
He was becoming a great man. He had leadership capabilities, loyalty, compassion, love. He lit up the room.
Now remember, in the hood, they always say that, oh, my baby ain't never do anything. My baby never hurt anybody. I'm just saying, pay attention to how people paint a narrative.
Everywhere he went. He is loved. Last night there was a vigil, very impromptu vigil at our church, Hope Fellowship. Over 1,700 people plus showed up. The outreach of this community, family, friends, people who don't even know me, has been overwhelming. I rely heavily on my faith to get me through this. Like I said, people ask me, how can you forgive what to this other person? I said, I forgive the other person because the forgiveness is not for him. The forgiveness is for me, so I can have peace. His life is destroyed. My life is destroyed. It's an unfortunate, tragic to affect us for the rest of our lives. I want to get the word out so maybe parents can educate their children to where this doesn't happen to someone else. Senseless acts of violence in this world have become more, I don't want to say acceptable, but I think today's society is more calloused.
My thing is, was it senseless? Could it have been avoided? We need to know the details. Now, I'm going to say, was it emotionally sparked? 100%. 100% it could have been handled more maturely on Karmelo Anthony's end. Yes. Let's continue.
To all the things. Austin was the light of my life. Both my sons were amazing. They were so tight. They had the best bond. They were best friends. And now I have to focus on taking care of Hunter and always taking care of myself and his mother and everyone else in the family. Oh my God, that picture. We love the outdoors. We love to hunt and fish together. Matter of fact, we just had one of our best hunting trips together this past weekend. I spoke to Austin Tuesday night on the phone about he took a test. He's like, man, I made a B. I was upset. He was upset because he made a B. And I said, it's going to be all right. He said, Dad, I'm going to come over this weekend and help mow your grass because I know your arm's hurt. And I said, okay. He said, I love you, Dad. And I said, I love you too, son. And those were the last words I ever heard from him.
Our prayers are with you, Jeff. And again, I can't even begin.
That's tough. I'm not a parent, so I don't know how it feels to even have a child. So to lose a child, that's something that I cannot speak on. So that's tough, no matter how the whole situation went down, So condolences go out to the family, both families as well, not just, Austin Metcalf, but as well as Karmelo Anthony, because they also have to deal with losing a son as well. But it's one more video I want to go into that goes a little bit more in depth.
WFAA has obtained new court documents revealing how Austin Metcalf was stabbed to death at a track meet in Frisco. Police say another teenager had fresh blood on his finger when they found him at Kirkendall Stadium.
The affidavit shows that when officers arrived, Karmelo Anthony told them he got into an argument with Metcalf. And when the arresting officer said he had the alleged suspect in custody, Anthony replied, I'm not alleged. I did it.
But Anthony told officers he only acted in self-defense and asked them if Metcalf was okay.
Several witnesses paint a different picture, and Metcalf's father told Matt Howerton he is not.
For him to ask if he was okay, number one, shows that he has some sort of sympathy, but also it makes me wonder what was his emotional state when he did it.
Find the excuse.
I had a dream last night. And Austin came to me and said, I'm okay. It gives me peace. Doesn't mean I don't hurt.
The last 24 hours, unimaginable for Austin Metcalf's father, his mother, his twin brother.
Right now, I'm really numb and I really don't feel anything. I just have to function.
Metcalf, just 17 when he arrived at Frisco ISD's district track meet Wednesday. His final breaths taken before 11 a.m., police say, after being stabbed to death by a fellow Frisco ISD student, 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony, now charged with first-degree murder.
My world's a little shattered.
An argument over where Anthony was sitting while the meet experienced a rain delay sparked a confrontation between the teen and Metcalf. According to arrest paperwork, Anthony sitting underneath Metcalf's team tent. You could see it from the air when we flew over the
That's the person who stabbed Austin Metcalf.
crime scene.
Karmelo Anthony.
Metcalf from Memorial High, Anthony from Centennial. A witness telling police Metcalf told Anthony to move from under the team's tent because he didn't go to their school. The witness telling police Anthony grabbed his bag, opened it, and
He told him move, but I'm wondering, how did he tell him move? Did he say N-word move? You know, did he say you better get your out of here? Like, how did he handle it? Did he say, hey, excuse me, sir, you know, this is me and my team's tent, so you might have to move, you know, because me and my team is going to come over here. You know, I'm pretty sure your team already has a tent over there, blah, blah, blah. How did you handle it? I believe this all comes down to how did these two teams, what was the conversation between the two teams? I believe this wholeheartedly comes down to that. And it feels only these three teams, Austin, his brother, and Karmelo, it comes down to his brother versus what Karmelo says happened. 100%, that's how I see it now. It comes down to the words that was exchanged. But like I said, it all could have been avoided because I believe this was just emotionally went too far out of hand. Boys didn't know how to handle their emotions and handle conflict properly.
reached inside and proceeded to tell Austin, touch me and see what happens. Investigators writing that Metcalf grabbed Anthony to tell him to move and that Anthony pulled out a black knife and stabbed Austin once in the chest and then ran away. When officers arrived, the knife was found and police say Anthony admitted to what happened, but said this to police. He put his hands on me. I was protecting myself. Even
it goes two ways because you knew you had a knife. So were you waiting on him to touch you so you could do that? Or did you really feel in fear and the conditions was too much for you to leave and they were over aggressive and that was the case where you took out your knife and did what you did? Again, that's how I feel about it. It's tough.
Asking another officer if what happened could be considered self-defense.
What do you expect? If you're caught, the best thing you're going to do is try to lie your way out of it.
Metcalf's father telling me self-defense is not a reasonable excuse.
The truth will come out. There were too many people that were there that saw what happened. My own son told me.
In Frisco, I'm Matt Howerton.
He keeps saying his own son told him what happened, but like I said, if that was my brother, and my brother could have said something that was, racially sparked, anything like that could have got him treated like that, I might try my best to cover up for my brother as well. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to hold you. I'm not going to hold you, especially if me and my brother was like this. So I think it all just comes down to words that was exchanged and it wasn't handled properly. How do y'all feel? Anybody in this area knows if this is like a very racial tension type area, or is it an area where everybody gets along? I think that is really going to be the answer to this whole thing. Prayers go out to both families. How y'all feel about this? This is your favorite cousin Rich. I greatly do appreciate y'all. Y'all be safe. Love and blessings.